Hey guys, so what I'm going over with you today is your project that we're going to be starting. So what I'll do is I'm going to go over the rubric first, let you know about which resources you should be using to find everything, and where you're going to be copying down your research. So starting with the rubric. So here is your rubric. So you're going to be creating a foldable. In the past, we've been able to do that on paper, but this year we're going to have to move to a digital um, foldable project. So there are 6 topics. Your foldable needs to have a title, and you'll need to include the following information for each of the acts. So you're going to need the year the act was imposed on the colonists, what the law states and the reason for the law, how the law helped the British, and you're going to want to explain the colonists' reaction to that law and how did they protest it. So, what steps did they take to protest that law? There is one act that does not have a colonist reaction. That's the Declaratory Act, which I will show you on your note taking as well. For each one of these acts, you're going to need an image. Now, because we're doing this online now, the image most likely is going to come from online, but it really needs to show that you understand that act. That's what it has to show me. It has to really show an understanding. So that might require more than one image. Okay. Um, if you're someone who is a little bit more maybe artistically inclined and wants to maybe do some drawing, or if you want to draw something on paper, color it in, we can take a picture of it and put it into the Google slide where your final product will be. If you maybe have an iPad or are really good with Google Draw, you could do something like that. We can insert it that way. Or if you're just using pictures from the internet, which would then, you're going to have to really show that understanding. So here are your 6 topics. You have the Sugar Act, the Stamp Act, the Declaratory Act, the Townshend Act, the Tea Act, and the Coercive, also known as the Intolerable Act. So we're going to use the textbook as a one of our main resources for this. But what I did for you is I also went and found an additional online resource for each of these. So each of these links here is more information. So that means that we should not be going on Google and saying, clicking for information on the Stamp Act. Okay, what was the colonist reaction to the Stamp Act? Right? We need to go through the resources that I give you and find the appropriate information. So now we're going to jump over to like some of the textbook resources here. Okay, so your textbook, this is the one we're used to. We've been using for a while now. Okay, you can see we have the Sugar Act, the Stamp Act. Sometimes you can miss the Declaratory Act because it's not in bolded. It is right down here on this part. Okay, it talks the Declaratory Act and then the Townshend Act. On the next section, we have the Tea Act here and the Intolerable Act. We also have another resource which comes from a textbook we used earlier in the year called We the People. So we have some information about some of the acts, doesn't have all of them, but it also does have some of the, how do the colonists resist British control. So this is a little bit about how they maybe protested or reacted to certain acts as well, which goes on to the next couple pages. Now, lastly, is your actual research organizer, which I've made for you. So you're going to use this graphic organizer to help with your research. Okay, that's all we're really focusing on today and tomorrow while you're remote. So for each one of these, right, just like it said in the rubric, you're going to find the year, what the law states, the reason for the law, how the law helped the British, and the colonists' reaction to the law. What specific actions did the colonists take to protest the law? Right, and you can include your information here. I'd recommend you put your information into bullets so you can keep it a little more organized. And that way, when you need to move stuff into your final product, which is I've made you guys a template of a Google slide of how to do this, which I'll show to you next time I see you in school. We can do that. So, like I said in the rubric, the Declaratory Act is the only one that does not have that colonist reaction piece. Okay, it just ends after how the law helped the British. So, I believe that is it. I hope this helped you guys out. And feel free, if you have any further questions on this stuff, feel free to email me.